We all know damn well who America's team is. And don't start with me about winning and Super Bowls and all of that, because all I want Max to do, if he ain't got the Cowboys as America's team, is to just go back and look at the damn tape from first take in the last year and compare the number of times he even talked about the Cowboys as opposed to the Steelers. Okay? We asking a question about America's team. We are talking about an identifiable brand. We are talking about a team that stays on the mind and the lips of fans that hate them and fans that love them. We are talking about a team where you play quarterback for that team. Regardless of how you playing, you are the most marketable individual in the NFL, 9 times out of 10. We are talking about a team as well that will never lose the mantle of being America's team, because America is exactly what the Cowboys are. You love it, you hate it, but you pay attention to every damn thing that go on with them. Now, when we get on the field, there's no better time in the NFL than when the Cowboys are winning, because the conversations and the things that go on and transpire are at the highest it can be when it comes to NFL dialogue. And not to mention the money. Like, I don't even want to get into the fact that it's the most recognizable, also the most the wealthiest, and the one that's going to continue to ascend to that level, the highest level in which it can reach as far as being recognizable and making money. The Dallas Cowboys are America's team, and the haters are gonna say they not, and at the same time, the haters are gonna respond to something about the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, it's an interesting argument. Let me start by attacking your credibility here. Normally, given your professional experience, your college experience, when we talk about football, I'm at a disadvantage because Marcus, who's more credible than Marcus? In this case, however, that works against you, Marcus. I have a couple of questions. How many years did you play for the Dallas Cowboys?
8.
How many years did you play for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
0.
See, I could rest my case right there, but I'm not going to. This is
adjourned.
clearly a biased
can't.
opinion. Now, look, first of all, is America just about style? Certainly we have style. No question. America's sensational. But America's also about substance, Marcus. Substance. Now, when I was a kid, there were 2 out-of-market teams that you rooted for, one or the other, if your team was no good. And I was a little kid before the Giants drafted LT. All I knew, I heard the Steelers, right? You heard Cowboys too. Steelers, Cowboys. Steelers won the Super Bowl every year. So I was a Steelers fan, because if you had a soul, you were a Steelers fan. If you were a sellout, you were a Cowboys fan. Nevertheless, I rooted for the Steelers. Now, the Steelers are one of the original 8 teams. The Steelers play in the Northeast and hang their hat on, at least by reputation, traditionally, defense. Even when Tomlin got the job, run the ball, stop the run. Steelers football. The Steelers are the team owned by the Rooneys, like the Rooney Rule, right? Great football family, great American family, and also instituted a rule to try to kind of fight against the prevailing tide in the NFL that wasn't fair and continues not to be, but tried to do something about it, named after Rooney because he instituted it. The Steelers are the team that, like, change head coaches once every 50 years, right? That's the Steelers. The real America's team in this game, I think there's an even better answer overall for America's team. But in this game, the real America's team is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Because of what you just said?
Naturally.
Max. Let's have truth moments all the time, bro. Like, you know me. You know me, and you know when you and I get on the phone in our personal time. Max, you know what the values and the foundation is that America is built on, and the Cowboys represent that, the good and the bad, Max. Like, let's not have a conversation about the Dallas Cowboys not being America's team. That's just something to drum up for people to talk about. Everybody, the Steelers fans, deep down inside, will tell you that the Dallas Cowboys are America's team. The diehard of the diehard Steelers fans, if they own reality, they will tell you that the Dallas Cowboys are America's team. What is that? What are you talking about, Marcus? We like money in the U.S. We like that a lot. And big money usually makes people crazy about whatever you're doing. We like fame. Who's more famous than the Dallas Cowboys, Max? We like fame from another standpoint. The individuals that have come through, right? We still got guys from the Dallas Cowboys making $100,000, $200,000 a year in marketing that wasn't even great
Marcus,
players.
we have very little time.
Telling you,
I want to rebut that.
The brand of the Dallas Cowboys makes them America's team.
I want to rebut
because
that.
it represents America more than any other football team.
No,
that's the bottom line.
That's part of America. The other part is hard work and winning. Hard work and winning. Who has won the most Super Bowl championships? Till the Patriots tied them. And the Patriots was tied just to Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, right? But the Steelers have done it throughout their history. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Who represents the blue-collar workers between the Cowboys and the Steelers? The Steelers. Who represents doing it the right way between the Cowboys and the Steelers? The Steelers. Do you know why the Cowboys are known as America's team? Because a snake oil salesman named Tex Schramm came up with it as a marketing device. And suckers bought it all over the country. Oh, yeah, America's team. I like the way that sounds. That's what the Cowboys are about. The Cowboys, since Jerry Jones, last 25 years, quarter century, Cowboys, all sizzle, no steak. All sizzle, no steak. The Pittsburgh Steelers have won 2 Super Bowls, been to 3 in the Roethlisberger era alone. In the Roethlisberger era alone, they've been to 3-1-2. They got steak. They don't have the sizzle of the Cowboys, but they got the goods. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.